The Falcons' week 4 game plan is simple. They're going to run the stinking football.
You are Locked On Falcons, your daily Atlanta Falcons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everyone, to another illustrious episode of the Locked On Falcons podcast, your daily Atlanta Falcons podcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you by the Gametime app. Just download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And guys, if you don't know me, you know me as the very humble host of this illustrious podcast, Aaron Freeman. And of course, today, as usual, to wrap up the week, I am joined by the head honcho. I don't know what your official title is anymore, Jarvis, but you know, you're running things. You're running things over at Locked On Sports Atlanta. And also, one of the proud members of Locked On NFL Kickoff live every Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern
later on.
So go check it out, guys. We'll plug it a little bit later in the show, but yeah, definitely, Jarvis, Tanitra, Kyle Krabs, Locked On Dolphins, they're all giving the lowdown for, each weekend's action here around the NFL. But guys, we thank each and every one of you that makes this illustrious podcast your first listen each and every day. Become an everydayer. And all you got to do is subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, and you'll get the latest episode as soon as it is available. So, Jarvis, talking with you each week ahead of the game. Of course, Jarvis and I, along with Tanisha Batiste, do the Locked On Sports Atlanta postcast immediately after the game, but like to sort of set the table going into the weekend with what is the biggest key to victory for you for this Falcon team in week 4?
It has to be able to run the football, because that's who we know. That's what we know that they can do, right? Because obviously with Desmond Ridder and throwing the football, he got put in a situation where they had to throw the football, and it didn't look good. To be quite honest. So I think that they're going to have to be able to reestablish themselves, and say, hey, we know what that having to throw the football looks like, but here's why we got this number 7. Here's why we stuck with 25, and and we're going to be able to establish this run, and we're going to be able to establish why we paid these guys and Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry. We're going to be able to run this football on that side of the ball specifically, because to be honest with you, the type of game that the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming off of, they got their butts kicked. They got their teeth kicked in against the Houston Texans. No one really saw that coming either, because hey, they got a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud trying to find his way, trying to figure things out. You got a first-year head coach, as well. So all those things, those factors, and Jacksonville was the pretty girl. Everybody was picking the pretty girl, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're about to get ready to come into their own and do all of these things. So I think that with the type of team that they're bringing in, there's no real guys who can really rush the passer like that. They got some guys who are capable, but they haven't put it on tape on a consistent basis. So they got Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall pick. They got Josh Allen coming out of Kentucky, the edge rusher out of Kentucky. So all those guys right there, they can get off if you don't pay attention to them or you do what you need to do. But I think that this is a game with everything that's going on in Jacksonville and what they're dealing with. They're reeling. They're 1-2. They're trying to figure things out. This is the perfect game, especially when you're going across the water. I feel like this is going to be a game where if you get out and establish yourself in the run game and get off to a really quick start offensively, this can work out in your favor.
Yeah, I agree with you. Both of these teams, Jacksonville and Atlanta, have not started games well this year. Jacksonville hasn't scored a first half touchdown since week 1.
Nice.
We know the Falcons ain't about scoring points in the first half. Football games.
We can finish.
Yeah. So I do think probably the team that starts the fastest on Sunday morning here stateside is going to be the team that gets a significant leg up. And I agree. I think the Falcons will get back to basics, reestablish the run game. I didn't have a problem with the Falcons trying to throw the ball against Seattle or against Detroit, because Seattle had a lot of success with their play action passing against that Lions defense. And, part of the reason why you want to kind of jumpstart this offense that tends to start slow is maybe get a couple of shots. And we saw them almost get one early in the game to Kyle Pitts. But, if Ritter hits that throw, we're talking about a very different outcome potentially last week. But I think you're right. Get back to basics and build off of that. Go back to the core identity of this offense, which is running the football. So I think you'll see that this weekend, and we'll see if the Falcons, if they can successfully do that, can they build off of that with their passing game, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better, or a lot better than it was last week. But like we'll talk a little bit more about this matchup and talk more about potential X factors in this game, as well as get Jarvis's thoughts on the team through 3 games so far, and if they potentially need to make a big splash move, with the trade deadline looming roughly a month from now, but sooner versus later. But we'll get into that as we continue today's Locked On Falcons. So, Jarvis, have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media on a random night and someone's out here talking about calamari, and you feel like, man, I haven't had delicious calamari in quite some time, and you sit there and you go like, now I got a craving for calamari, and you can scratch that itch and satisfy that craving with DoorDash. And not only can you trust DoorDash to deliver your favorites from your favorite restaurants like calamari, but now you can also get your groceries delivered too. I love DoorDash. My favorite local wing spot delivers only on DoorDash, and so I'm constantly hitting up DoorDash for Wing Wednesdays, and I get great savings. Right, with the Dash Pass, you get 0 delivery fees on eligible items with that Dash Pass membership. But we're giving you a great offer, guys, because you can get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to $20 when you use the code LOCKEDONNFL at checkout. It's a limited time offer. Terms apply. That's 50% off up to $20. No minimum subtotal and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code LOCKEDONNFL. Don't forget, that's code LOCKEDONNFL for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. So, guys, as we continue today's Locked On Falcons, I want to remind you that, every weekend you got to get ready for the game's actions with the Locked On NFL Kickoff Live. Each Friday, Locked On goes live from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time across the entire Locked On NFL YouTube channels. So you can just keep subscribing to Locked On Falcons and you'll be able to check it out. And they have some great hosts, Tanisha Batiste, Kyle Krabs, and Jarvis Davis, I think is one of those people. And they're going to break down every game, right, and get you guys ready, betting stuff, fantasy stuff, all that and more. You get all the great analysis from folks like me, the local NFL hosts as well across the network. So check out the Locked On NFL Kickoff Live every Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time on any Locked On NFL YouTube channel. So, Jarvis, let's talk a little bit about X factors, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know about me, but I don't know about you, Jarvis, but for me, like the Falcons are playing in London, and I'm thinking, we're talking about running the football, but I'm thinking like, Drake London could be an X factor in the city of London. That makes sense. Yeah. When the Falcons do get in that situation and they want to throw the football, look, Jacksonville's defense, I think, is a solid defense, but I don't know if they have anybody that's like really scary on their defense, right? Like it feels like, Tyson Campbell's probably their number one corner, but like Trey Herndon, I think is their nickel corner. And like last week we saw Brian Branch, he was all over the field, right?
Just absolutely amazing.
Yes. And like, I think that was one of the reasons why like they couldn't really get Drake London going. But I'm sitting here going like, I think Drake can get going this week against this Jacksonville Jaguars matchup. But for you, who's sort of an X factor for you in this game?
Since we're talking about London and circumstances like where they're playing in, how about Kyle Pitts? Well, Kyle Pitts, played well in London last time we saw him over there overseas. So I think that I think he's a guy that I feel like can get out, because I saw something that was kind of interesting last week when I had did my little rewatch of the game. I was just like, all right, a lot of times when Desmond Ridder completed passes to Kyle Pitts was lining up in the slot. And a lot of times when we saw those missed throws, he was lined up on the outside in the wide receiver position. Now, obviously, Kyle Pitts has some excellent speed. He can run like a deer. But I feel like Desmond Ridder needs to throw to Kyle like he's a tight end and not necessarily a wide receiver, because there were some instances where he threw the deep ball down the sideline, and instead of trying to lead the man, because the corner was sitting right there on top of him, he was, and it's been the guy he was matched up against obviously was not falling for whatever move he gave him right off the line of scrimmage. So I think you got to put it on Kyle Pitts. He's 6'6". Like, I understand that he can play that wide receiver spot. He has the speed to do it, but use that body. Like, use that what he was brought in to be. Because why is he a unicorn? Because he's 6'6", 240, and he can run a doggone 4.4. Like, those are some of the reasons why you need to utilize him in those particular situations. So I feel like if Desmond Ridder can get into the mindset of, hey, this is my tight end. This is a guy that I can put the ball on the man, and give him opportunity to play basketball, box him out and not let those the defender get around him and try to pick the ball off. So those are some of the things that, like, it's just like simplifying it, right? Getting back to the basics. That's basic football 1-on-1. If that corner is playing over the top, put it on him. Put it on that back shoulder and let your man make plays. So I think that, given that they're going over to London, I really feel like Kyle Pitts can be, especially going up against a defense like Jacksonville, like you said, nobody really just, there's balls of fire that you just really scared of, or you got to mark on or put that little mark on the board when you're going through your game plan and everything like that. Nope, nobody really like that. So I think that, I think Kyle Pitts can be that guy that can say, hey, give me the rock, and then, make sure you put it on me, because I can catch that bad boy and give me an opportunity to make some plays once I catch the ball.
Yeah. I think watching the film the last 2 weeks of the Jaguars defense, I'd probably say the one guy that popped to me was their safety Andre Cisco, just because he has some of that deep ball skills. He's kind of Jesse Bates ish, ish.
That's a lot of pressure now. You're putting that type of pressure on Mr. Bates now. Mr. Bates heard your boy. Call him out. He out there still, man, is a ball player. Like, he can play football.
Okay.
Yeah. He's playing like an all-pro.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But things were pretty good for the Falcons the first 2 weeks. Not so pretty good last week. I'm curious, Jarvis, because I don't know about you, but it felt like to me, with the Falcons losing on Sunday, that like people were like, in my opinion, kind of overreacting to the loss a little bit. And I'm just curious, like,
people losing it, man.
Where are you at with this team right now through 3 games? Are they where you would like them to be? Are they ahead? Are they behind? Where are you at overall with this team through 3 games?
I think they're kind of exactly where I thought they would be. I didn't think they were going to be 3-0 after 3 weeks. I actually pinpointed this Lions game and said, hey, they possibly could lose this game. And I hadn't even seen them play at all, in 2023. So just looking at when the schedule came out. So I think that, you're 2-1. You got the opportunity to go overseas and get you one against a team that's 1-2. And Lord knows the pitchforks are coming out in Jackson down there in Duval. They are trying to figure this thing out. Doug Peterson is, everybody looking at him like, hey, you've been here before, so you need to figure it out, sir. And according to our Locked On Jaguars, according to that guy down there, he was just like, apparently Doug Peterson took over play calling and all this stuff in the second half of the game. I was just like, man, it's a lot going on. So I think that, given where they are right now, 2-1, you lose to the Lions, a team that out physical you, they took you to task, and you got an opportunity to bounce back. And if you're 3-1 out of the first 4 games, what are we really complaining about? You can't complain about that. Obviously, you're going to lose games. You weren't going to go undefeated. I don't think anybody came into the season thinking that. But yeah, it definitely. And to answer your your thought, like people did overreact, and it's just like, man, people talking about benching doggone Desmond Ridder and trading for Kirk Cousins, and just like, what are we talking about here? Like, why would you want to do that? So yeah, I think we're 2-1, got the opportunity to be 3-1 in the first quote unquote quarter of the season. I know it's 17 games for all you math nerds and everything out there, but hey, that's how we're gonna talk about it in this particular, like, the first quarter of the season. You're 3-1. I'm not complaining. There's nothing to complain about. Y'all need to just chill, please. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Jarvis, you were out here, pushing for the Falcons to potentially make a big move yesterday because they started moving some money around a little bit.
Yeah.
Freeing up some cap space with the Jake Matthews restructure. Yeah. And so, like, you're saying, like, hey, they're in a good spot, but like, it doesn't feel like you think that's true because you're out here being like, hey, let's go out there and get Danielle Hunter or somebody like that. I'm just curious. I'm just giving you the floor to explain yourself, Jarvis.
So here's my thing, right? So we talk about, and these are my thoughts. I trust Arthur Smith as a play caller. I'm cool. I'm cool with the decisions that he makes on Sundays at 1:00. I'm cool with that. So being that I trust what the play calling is, and he's not going to put his quarterback in bad situations, so I feel like the offense is going to figure it out. And how do you buy time with the offense figuring it out? The defensive play being amazing. Now, it has not been amazing. It's been solid, though. But what would make it amazing? A pass rusher. Someone who you know for a fact is going to get home on 3rd and long. The double-digit sack man is up in Minnesota with purple and gold on. They're 0-3. They don't want to pay him. A mid-round pick could probably get it done because you have to pay him. So, and you freed up $7 million by restructuring Jake Matthews' contract. So I started saying to myself, you know what? This makes some sense. Ryan Nielsen getting added. You add another pass rusher to a Ryan Nielsen coach defense. Like, think about that. When was the last time we seen a guy that we know for a fact is going to be there in that quarterback space on 3rd and long? When? It's been
decades since John Abraham. Yeah.
Abe? Like, you know how long Abe has been retired from football? Abe is eligible for the Hall of Fame, isn't he? Like you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be voted into the Hall of Fame. So what are we like? This that is a very long time to go without a consistent pass rusher. So everybody, of course, you got the normal Falcons fan. Man, don't be playing with my emotions. Don't be doing that. Like, nah, man, put 2 and 2 together. You make it make sense. It makes sense for the Falcons to go after Danielle Hunter. So, yeah, I mean, of course, you had some people talking about, they need to go get La'el Collins to replace Caleb McGarry. No, that's not happening. Sorry. They just paid him. Pride is real. Now, and I feel like you're not going to fall right now because, shoot, like you said, you're still 2-1. Like, you played well enough to get 2 wins out of 3, and you're coming off a really bad week. So, hey, hopefully you can make the necessary adjustments so you can come out and play better. But while you're trying to figure it out on offense, get a guy that can get home on a consistent basis, man, and bump doggone Calais Campbell down inside for a little bit on 3rd and long. There we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Makes sense to me. There you go.
Now, don't come after me, Calais, because you're taller than your boy, but I still got some weight on you, bro. Like, and I've been working out too, so let's keep it cool, keep it professional, man. Just give my opinion, bro.
Okay.
That's it.
All right.
I don't need you to come after your folk like that.
He's got some reach on you, Jarvis.
He do got some reach. He got some reach, but like I said, I got the weight though.
Okay.
I've been on the weights too.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
All right. I can hold my own. Like if I grab them, it might be over with. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, we ain't trying to get to that because we two brothers. You know what I'm saying? Out here trying to get feed our families. You know what I mean? He feed his with a lot more than me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we out here trying to get it, man. So we don't need none of that stuff.
Okay.
Like, coming at folks and stuff and having man conversations and fighting and stuff. Nah, we don't need all that. Like, cause I'm gonna sue. You put your hands on me, I'm suing.
I could make a phone call and see if we can get the Anthony Rush out of there, but I don't think it's gonna work with Calais Campbell this time.
I'm glad you
I don't think I have that type of pull.
Because I have no reason to remember his name because yeah. But anyway, like don't be coming at my homeboy Anthony. Like I know you watch this podcast.
Wait.
Look, he snatched the whiteboard, bro. Where your whiteboard at? I know he snatched the whiteboard off the wall.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up today's episode talking a little bit about traveling overseas, right? The Falcons going overseas, and we'll pick Jarvis's brain on what he would do, what he would see, what he would eat if he had the chance to go over to London in the UK, and we'll talk a little bit about that to wrap up today's Locked On Falcons. Buying tickets to your favorite sports events shouldn't be stressful. Gametime is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, theater near you with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the best price guaranteed. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you the peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All-in prices show the total upfront so you don't have to worry about any of those hidden fees, and you can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps, and those last-minute deals mean that you can wait to the day of your event and still get some incredible deals on Gametime. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So Jarvis, of course, want to give a shout out to the everydayers here on Locked On Falcons. And of course, for those of you that aren't subscribed to Locked On Sports Atlanta, of course, go check it out, guys, to get not only the Monday Atlanta Falcons football party or the Tuesday Georgia Bulldogs football party. What
Braves baseball party on Wednesday, man. Come on, we got a lineup, dude.
It's great lineup.
Check us out.
So, of course, Locked On Sports Atlanta is the place to go for all your local coverage of Atlanta sports. But, Falcons aren't going to be local this weekend. Mm-hmm. And, Jarvis, just because we're, talking about the Falcons going overseas, I'm curious, what would you do if you were, got a chance to go over to the UK to hang out and do stuff? Are there sites that you would like to see? Are there things you'd like to eat? People that you like to meet, or you ain't about that, London life?
You know what, man? I'm a foodie. Like I like to eat. I don't know if anybody knows or met me in person. Like I ain't no small guy. So you get my size by eating really well. So I would try the local cuisine. I heard fish and chips are really good. That's a big deal over there. So of course I have to try that out. I need to know what type of fish they rolling with though. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have some cod, like what we doing? Like, some salmon, what type of fish we're gonna be rolling with. So I'll have to try that out. And then of course, I used to be a sweet tea guy. I was really big on sweet tea. So I want to see what the whole tea situation going on, what that's like. So yeah, I would try those 2 things, and then, I'm not real big on sightseeing. Like that's not my thing. Like I sightsee by going to the local restaurants. Like, what I'm saying? I want to see what the food hitting on first. So yeah, that'll be my first go-to if I were to go overseas. Like one of these days I'm gonna get over to that game. We got to go together, as a matter of fact. I think that would Jarvis and Aaron goes to London. Like I think that is a really good headline type movie, man. Like I think we can have some fun over there.
I think so. I think we'd have some fun. Yeah. You know, I've always wanted to go to England. Never got the chance. Check it out. Yeah, you know, you gotta try the fish and chips. You know,
Yes.
they're not known for their food over there. You know, like the reputation for food over there is pretty bad. Like they have a
That's what I've
reputation
heard.
for
That's what I've
for
heard. Yeah.
having like the world's worst food. And like, you know, as someone who also likes to eat, Jarvis, myself, you know, I would like to test out that reputation. You know, see if, you know, is it as bad as people say it is. But yeah, I think fish and chips is near the top of the list in terms of things that you got to go try. I'm also a big fan of the English breakfast, right? You know,
Okay.
because like you know, I feel like American. You know, I'm gonna say something. They might come for me. The CIA might come for me, but
Okay.
I think
Well,
American
nobody
breakfast
else coming for you.
Yeah, you know, I
already
think
got the
American
people on you.
breakfast is this dessert packaged as a breakfast food. Like other than the bacon and the eggs and stuff like that, it's just all syrup and sweets and cakes and stuff like that. And so like I like my food a little savory, right? And that's what the
No doubt,
English
yeah.
breakfast is about, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
They got the bacon and the eggs and all that stuff, but they throw in like tomatoes and mushrooms and beans and stuff like that. So like
Tomato?
yeah. So
Big on
you know,
tomatoes?
you're not a fan of tomatoes, Jarvis?
No, not at all. No,
Okay,
absolutely
yeah.
not.
I'm a
Is
fan.
it fried or green? Like
No,
if it's
no.
fried and green, maybe. Yeah, I can rock with it, but you know, yeah, I can't do the other stuff. Yeah.
The red tomatoes.
Nah, man. Like,
Okay.
Is it fried or green?
No.
If it ain't fried and green, like I'm probably not gonna mess with it.
Okay. All right.
Do you put the salt and pepper on the tomato? Are you that big on
Yeah,
tomatoes?
yes. Yeah, it works for me. Yeah.
So you like you come from the country. You got some country living in you. Yeah. 'Cause that's country. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm saying it because my mom used to do that too. And my pops. Like they'll do a salt and pepper on the tomato and you know, eat a sandwich. I was like, ugh. You know, like my dad from the city, but my mom from the country part of the metro area, wherever that is nowadays. You know, they expanded out so much now. It's almost like it goes to Tennessee, or as far as west as doggone Alabama. But anyway, yeah, if you putting salt and pepper on tomatoes, yeah, you probably yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I got nothing else, Jarvis. So I just, you know.
We're talking about tomatoes and salt and pepper. Like, yeah, so
Okay.
it's
All
gonna
right.
be a Falcon podcast? What's going on?
All right. So that's it, guys. Enjoy yourselves for all you guys that are actually going to the game. I know a couple of you guys out there are going overseas to go check it out. You know, enjoy yourselves. Get some fish and chips. Report back to us on that whole eating experience for the couple of days that you're there. Say hello to some of our overseas brethren, that are waiting, you know, every 2-3 years to get one of these games. So always appreciate the international listeners here on the Locked On Falcons podcast. So I hope you guys also enjoy yourselves over there. But that is going to do it for us here with myself and Jarvis Davis. You can check out Jarvis on Twitter at JarvisD90. Can't really do much with me on Twitter, but you know,
I'm gonna get you a lawyer, dog. Like, we're gonna get this figured out, bro. Like, even if I have to be your lawyer, like, we're gonna get this thing figured out, bro. I got you, man.
I appreciate the support, Jarvis,
bro.
but I don't really think you being my lawyer is gonna really help my case. That's all I'm saying.
What if I get you a free Aaron t-shirt? That gonna help? It helps everybody else, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go. All right, guys. Make sure you continue to make Locked On Falcons your first listen. Check out Locked On Sports Atlanta. Of course, check out Locked On NFL Kickoff Live every Friday with Jarvis, Tanitra, and Kyle Krabs at 2 p.m. Eastern Time across the entire network, including here on the Locked On Falcons YouTube channel.